Imagine you're leading an expedition through uncharted territory. While you may have the map and the compass, it's your team of explorers that will keep you moving forward, scouting ahead, noticing changes in the environment, and identifying potential threats and opportunities. Leadership works much the same way. While individual vigilance is important, the power of collective vigilance in a leadership team can dramatically amplify your ability to anticipate and navigate change. No leader can be everywhere at once. That's why it's crucial to build a leadership team that shares your commitment to vigilance, actively scans the environment, and contributes to early warning systems. In this lesson, we'll explore how to foster a culture of vigilance within your leadership team so that your organization becomes more resilient, adaptable, and forward-thinking. When vigilance is shared across your leadership team, it becomes far more powerful. Each leader brings a unique perspective, expertise, and a set of experiences to the table. Together, this diversity of thought helps you detect weak signals, spot opportunities, and mitigate risks much more effectively than any individual leader could alone. Consider a global company with leaders in different regions. While one leader might be focused on changes in the North American market, another could be monitoring shifts in the Asian market, and yet another may be focused on technological advancements in Europe. By pooling their insights, the team can collectively build a more comprehensive view of the organization's environment and respond proactively to emerging trends or threats. Creating a leadership team that embodies vigilance starts with building a culture where curiosity, questioning, and proactive thinking are encouraged. This involves a few key practices. First, encourage open dialogue. Leaders must feel comfortable sharing their observations and concerns, even if the signals seem minor or uncertain. Establish regular meetings where team members discuss emerging trends, weak signals, and potential risks they're seeing in their areas of expertise. And second, empower team members to probe. Just as we discussed in the earlier lesson on probing and sensing, each leader should be empowered to ask critical questions, challenge assumptions, and explore possibilities. By giving team members the space to probe deeper, you can create a more vigilant and thoughtful leadership team. And thirdly, value diverse perspectives. Vigilance thrives on diversity. Encourage leaders from different departments, backgrounds, and markets to share their unique perspectives. Sometimes the most valuable insights come from looking at an issue through a different lens. For example, a marketing leader might notice changing consumer behavior long before the operations team does, while a finance leader might spot potential economic risks before they impact other parts of the organization. By bringing these diverse viewpoints together, you create a more comprehensive and agile leadership team. Each member of your leadership team plays a critical role in sensing weak signals. Some might be closer to market shifts. Others might have insight into operational challenges, while others might be monitoring internal cultural changes. The key is to establish a process where these weak signals are regularly discussed and analyzed. For example, if a sales leader notices a slowdown in a key market, it's important to bring that information to the rest of the leadership team. Perhaps the product development team is seeing similar signals from customer feedback, or the finance team is noticing a dip in certain financial metrics. By connecting the dots across departments, the leadership team can identify a potential risk or trend that needs to be addressed before it grows into a bigger problem. A vigilant leadership team doesn't just focus on internal issues. It's always scanning the horizon for external opportunities and threats. This requires a mindset shift, from focusing solely on the present to actively thinking about the future. And here's how to help your leadership team develop this mindset. Set a future-focused agenda. In your leadership meetings, make future-oriented discussions a priority. Ask your team, what changes are we anticipating in the next 6 to 12 months? What emerging trends could disrupt our industry? Are there new technologies or competitors we should be watching? And invest in foresight tools and resources. Equip your team with the tools and resources they need to stay informed. This might include access to market research, industry reports, trend analysis software, or even sending leaders to conferences or workshops that help them stay ahead of industry changes. And encourage scenario planning. As we covered in previous lessons, scenario planning is a powerful way to prepare for different futures. By getting your leadership team involved in these exercises, you help them think critically about how they would respond to various scenarios, strengthening their ability to act quickly when changes occur. For example, in the fast-paced tech industry, companies like Google and Apple regularly engage in scenario planning with their leadership teams, exploring how emerging technologies like AI, 5G, and quantum computing could reshape their businesses. This practice helps their leaders stay sharp and responsive to future shifts. And vigilance must be more than a theoretical exercise. It needs to be actionable. For this to happen, every leader on your team must take ownership of their role in maintaining vigilance. This means holding leaders accountable for monitoring key indicators in their areas of expertise and reporting back regularly. One way to promote accountability is to assign each leader specific watch areas where they are responsible for keeping an eye on relevant trends, risks, and opportunities. For example, the head of operations might monitor supply chain vulnerabilities. The CMO could track changing customer behavior or new marketing technologies. The CFO might focus on macroeconomic trends and financial risks. By assigning these watch areas, you ensure that each leader is actively contributing to the collective vigilance of the organization. And don't forget that a vigilant leadership team thrives on feedback and continuous improvement. This means regularly assessing the effectiveness of your team's vigilance practices and making adjustments as necessary. Hold periodic reviews where the team reflects on recent decisions or actions based on weak signals. Did the team identify risk early enough? Were the actions taken appropriate? What could have been done better? These reflections help improve the team's ability to interpret signals and make more effective decisions in the future. For example, a quarterly vigilance review might include an analysis of the weak signals the team detected over the last few months and how well the organization responded. Did your team identify an emerging market trend early enough to capitalize on it? Did they spot internal risks that needed to be addressed? Now let's take a look at a case study of Microsoft's leadership team and the cloud revolution. Now, Microsoft's leadership team provides an excellent example of collective vigilance. In the early 2010s, as cloud computing began to take off, many traditional software companies were slow to adapt, continuing to focus on selling software licenses rather than moving to a cloud-based model. But Microsoft's leadership team, under Satya Nadella, recognized the weak signals of the cloud revolution early. Rather than resisting the change, the team embraced it, reorienting the entire company around cloud services. This decision led to the explosive growth of Microsoft Azure and helped the company maintain its leadership position in the tech industry. The lesson here is that the strength of Microsoft leadership team came from its ability to sense early signals in the tech landscape and act collectively. Each leader brought unique insights to the table, and together they made bold decisions that reshaped the future of the company. So as you can see, vigilance is not a solo effort. It's a team sport. By building a leadership team that embodies the principles of vigilance, you create a more resilient, adaptable, and forward-thinking organization. Encourage open dialogue, assign watch areas, promote accountability, and continually reflect on your team's performance to ensure that vigilance is a shared responsibility across your leadership. So ask yourself, is your leadership team operating as a collective radar, constantly scanning for risk and opportunities? If not, what steps can you take to foster greater vigilance within your team? These are the questions that will help you create a more vigilant and successful organization.